Me again. And I want to make one, maybe two announcements before I get into this review of the Black Panther movie. I just went to go see it today. Number one, there are most likely going to be spoilers within this film. So if you do not wish to be spoiled, click off this video immediately. I do not want to hear comments like, "Oh my gosh, you spoiled me!" And like, I'm a proud member of the No Spoiling Society, so I do not want to spoil anyone. So click off the video right now if you do not want to be spoiled. And number two, a viewer asked me today if I'm going to do reviews on each episode of Supernatural. That will most likely be a yes. Since it is coming back on Tuesday, it is most likely because I live in the United States. So it is coming for me on Tuesday. I will do the reaction on Tuesday night. And yeah, I'll most likely what will happen is that I will have my list of what I want to talk about in the video on Tuesday night while I'm watching the show. I'll probably write that during the commercials for the show. And then on Wednesday, after my class, since I'm a college student, I will do the video on Wednesdays. So that's just going to be how the schedule is. And if I decide to do other episodes, such as Flash, I'm thinking about doing Flash, thinking about doing Iron Fist if it's still on Netflix. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out like what shows I do want to do reviews on and reactions to and previews I want to react to and whatnot. So comment below if you have any ideas and give me like a little list and I'll pick from that list. And without further ado, let's get on to how Marvel stole my edges in 2 hours. This might be one of the longest videos that I'm going to make unless we get a Malik wedding, but this is not going to be about Shadowhunters nor Malik. So until we get that video, that episode, this might be the longest video I'm going to post today. And so number one, for starters, I bought this last over the weekend, and I wore this today, and I might change that to my profile pic so you get to see my outfit I wore from the movie. And I have a lot of thoughts about this movie. I have been a Marvel fan since the beginning of time. And I also want to put a warning. I do not want to hear, read, see any racist crap in my comments about this movie. If you didn't like this movie, don't like it because you don't like how it was directed. You don't, which is bull crap, and I don't believe you. Say you don't like it because of something technical, because of a plot line or something. Don't be racist. Not in my comments. Because I will happily delete your comment. I will report you and I will delete your comment because I'm not doing it. You're not going to be racist on my channel. I don't want to see it. I'm not here for it. So if you're gonna diss this movie over something technical or plot line based or character based, do not be racist because I don't have the time for it. Now, moving on from that, I want to go into I want to do all the very deep thoughts first and then get all into the very fun little tidbits because a lot of symbolism was used in this film, absolutely without a doubt. Number one, I loved this specific scene, and I said at the beginning I'm going to spoil stuff, so don't be surprised. There is number one, how there's only one guy in the entire film, and he's white. The one guy in the film, and he's white. I took this, and a lot of other viewers have took it as sort of him being like the sidekick or the slave, similar to how black people are in television or movies. It's a whole bunch of white people and the one black guy that's like a coon or like the sidekick. In this case, the Agent Ross, he was almost like a coon to white people or the slave because even the sister, I'm totally going to mess up saying everyone's name. So don't drag me in the comments for messing up pronunciation. But I think her name is like Sharit or Shruti. I know I totally messed that up. But she told him that I made it American for you to fly so you can learn how to fly it. That right there is shade, saying that I made this easier for your little American mind to understand. I love that. Another thing is when at the beginning scene when we are in London, of all places, this had to be in London, of all places. And we have the scene with Michael B. Jordan, Eric, and this white lady who worked for the museum. She's gonna say, "Oh, this is from there, and this is from this," and then she gets to the hammer thing with the vibranium. She is going to say, "Oh, this is from a little civilization in Africa," and she said, "No, it's not, from Wakanda. I should know." And he's gonna, "How much is it?" And she said, "We're not selling it." And he's just gonna start dragging her and saying, "Oh, did you buy it or did you steal it? Did you buy it or did you steal it? Just like your ancestors stole my culture. And I'm going to go empire quote here, I'm reclaiming what's mine. I'm reclaiming my time. I'm reclaiming my culture. And I'm taking back what's mine." I love that because you can't, throughout this entire film, you can't really be mad at Eric. You can't not be mad at Killmonger because you understand. Like, I'm sorry, he wasn't a villain. He was sort of like, and I made this comparison that I sort of compare him to Magneto in how he wants change and he wants black people to rise up against their oppressor and take back what's theirs and have a voice in their communities and be strong and be independent. But his ways of doing it are just wrong. And I'll get to that later within the video. But I did not see him as a villain. I just saw him as taking the wrong approach to something that he has a right to ask for. So later within the video, I'll get into more like breaking down like characters in each individual character because that's going to take me a minute. So I should have said this at the beginning, but grab your popcorn because this is going to be a long, long, long video, and I'm not apologizing for that. And so moving on from that little PSA, that second PSA, just another very deep in thought scene was, and I find this funny. Like, this is the one funny thing about this whole film to me. They started barking in Ross's face. They started barking in his face. Because I'm going to explain. This is like later within the movie, and it's Ross, the mom, the sister, and Lupita, and Nikita. I'm gonna mess up saying their name, so I might just say the actor's name or the name they have in the movie. I'm not gonna promise you consistency because I don't have a list of the characters, actors on in front of me, and my phone is dying, and I don't want to pull it up on my phone. Anyway, it is whoever the actor was for Jesus, Mbaku. Yes. Yes. I loved him. He was great. He was fantastic. He's perfect. He was the perfect character to play that role. And I've never seen him act before, but like one of y'all was like, "Oh my gosh, you stupid person! Like he was in this movie, he was in that movie." But like I'm probably gonna look it up later, and like when they, "Oh my gosh, I'm so dumb." Anyway, he was sitting on his throne, Mbaku, and he's just looking at like the one white dude, the mom, Angela Bassett, Lupita, and the sister Shruti, and they're all like saying like, how are we gonna get King Killmonger out of this throne? What, T'Challa is dead. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And then Agent Ross, he's gonna try, and he feels like he has a right to like open his mouth and say something. And they start barking in his face. And they tell him, basically, like, your opinion doesn't mean shit. So shut up. I love that scene so much. Your opinion means this much. Every other black person is going to speak. You're going to speak last. And also, you're also going to speak when I give you permission to speak. So shut up. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Because it shows the how this movie focused a lot on black people's voice and black people's opinions and how they feel. And I'm doing the thing where I move around too much again, so I apologize for the shaky camera. And anyway, I absolutely loved how they focused it more on the black voice instead of what the white people want. Because how many times we see a film and like the black person doesn't really get an opinion in the matter, or they listen to the black guy's opinion when it's too late. They just don't want to hear him in general. So I love the reverse roles. Another thing, which is like the main point of the entire reason why black people were so hyped. There's literally only two white people in this whole film, and one of them dies within the first 30 minutes of this movie. Absolutely love that. Because how many times do we see the black person in the movie, in the first 10 minutes of the movie, he dies? How many times? So I loved how the roles were absolutely reversed. Another thing, thinking wise, because we're doing all the thinking points first, and then we're going to get into all the interesting, funny, cute stuff. That's what we're going to get into first. Last. I loved the use of black women. As a black woman, I felt so empowered. I wanted to take a stick and just fight people. I felt so empowered to just do anything. And as a young black girl, I never really saw characters like me on television or in movies because we were either ghetto or ratchet or having like 4 or 5 baby daddies and all these kids and on drugs or alcohol. We weren't that. We were put together. We were ready, and I absolutely loved that. And Okote, or I probably messed up her name. She was my favorite. Like I want to a little short film just focused on the DeGeorge women. That's what I want. That's what I need. That's what my spirit calls for. Because it would be the most sickening movie short film ever. And I loved that. And I loved the women because they were just so fiercely loyal. And that kind of like pissed me off at the same time. I was like, Okote knows like this is wrong. Killmonger shouldn't be king. T'Challa should have been king. Anyone else should have been king but this man. But she told Nikita that I am loyal to whoever sits in that throne. I am loyal to that person. It doesn't matter how trash or crappy they are. I am loyal to that throne. So my opinion doesn't matter. I loved and I hated. I didn't hate. I was annoyed. I wasn't even annoyed. Like I understood that. And it also brought the point that black women are so loyal to their significant other or to their family or to their duty. And I loved that so much. I extremely loved it. Because as a black woman, I want to see characters like me on television and on TV and in media. And I'm so happy that we finally get that. It took this long for this to happen. And everyone, and I'm going to go on a tangent starting now. People were so shook, like, oh my gosh, like we can't have a film with all black people. It won't make any money. It won't make any money. We can't have an all black cast girl. Like, it won't make any money. In the first 24 hours, it made $25 million in one day. And I'm just talking like, I think it made like, within the United States on Thursday, it made roughly $25 million. Someone correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. And I'm not even talking about overseas. They made at least like overseas, they made over $200 million. Imagine getting a budget for $200 million and you make that up in a week, in like 3 days. They did in 4 days what Justice League couldn't do in And what Justice League could never. They haven't worked hard enough. They have not. And like I love they had five main characters. They had the sister, they had Nikita, they had T'Challa, and they had Eric. That's basically the only, and I don't know who it's just four. They did in 2 hours tastefully and correctly done what Justice League tried to do. With Justice League, they tried to put five different characters, put all their personalities and all their history into 2 hours. But yet but with Black Panther, they did that so smoothly. It was like transitions. And like bits of their story were entwined with the overall story. And I love that. With Justice League, they were so like they were like playing hopscotch. Like, what character are we on? And it was just so like it was annoying with Justice League how like they were not the transitions weren't smooth enough for me, which is why I was not here for Justice League. My issue, I'm gonna do a rant on like DC for like a minute, so just buckle with me for a second. And this is no offense to like any DC Nation fan. I'm a comic book nerd. I love Justice League too. I would wake up on Saturday mornings, I would sit down with my breakfast and I would watch Justice League Unlimited, Batman, Superman. I would sit down on Saturdays and on YouTube. I still do it today at like 19 years old. And I love watching those cartoons because the cartoons were better than the actual film. Yes. Come on. Really? I can't. So I feel like if Justice League did what Marvel did and had individual movies, they did Iron Man first, Captain America, Hulk, Thor, and the three big bosses. And I'm still upset about the fact they have not done a Black Widow movie. And I'm literally considering making a movie just complaining about DC. Let me know in the comments you want to see that. But they made a movie building up these characters before they threw them together in the first Avengers in Avengers 1, in the first Avengers movie. They gave us background on every character before they put them all in a movie. Now, if DC actually sat down and took notes, no shade, but shade, and just took notes from Marvel, they would have said, okay, we need to do a Batman movie first. Not 15 million Batman movies, just one or two or three. Not 18 million Superman movies, just two would have been fine. And just broken down every single character of the Justice League and put them, and then after we got background on every single DC character, you put them in a movie together as the Justice League, I would have been fine with that because we have background on every single character and we just need to go back and look at the other movies. The same thing we did with Marvel. Now, if you want to like figure out who Iron Man is and how Iron Man got started, you just have to go watch the first Iron Man movie. But with DC, they have been so many remakes and so many different remakes of the same two boring characters. I'm making this about DC, but this is about Marvel, but just give me a minute. I'm sick and tired of the same two boring white people. I'm sick of seeing this boring alley with where Bruce's parents get shot. I'm sick of seeing this Kansas cornfield farm every time Superman has a movie. I'm over it. I'm sick of it and I am tired of it. DC, do better. You have amazing characters. Do better. Just do better. Okay? Because I'm sick of these animated movies being better than the real life action movies. Okay? Now, I'm not gonna lie, like Marvel struggled a little bit with like Jessica. I don't know what the whole Jessica Jones thing was, but I want to start watching that maybe. Like their TV shows, they're not the best. Like their live action TV shows, they're not like beans, greens, tomatoes, and yams. Like they're not. They could be better. But I feel like just in general, all animated TV shows are going to be way better, and all animated films are going to be way better than the live action and better than the live action TV shows, except for Black Panther because I watch both Black Panther animated movies, but and not animated, I guess like cartoon animated, whatever you want to pick the word for, and I loved those two, and which is why I was extremely ecstatic for this film. So getting back on the topic of this film, after like 2 minutes of me ranting about how DC needs to get it together, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make a movie just like trying to give DC teach some writing lessons, because I go to Columbia and I'm a writing major, so I can help them get it together. Moving on. Um, Jesus, what was I even talking about? I don't know. Basically the point is, um, whoever played M'Baku the Man Ape, he was fine. Everyone in this movie was fine. They were all good looking. Um, basically, I loved how Agent Ross, he was treated like the sidekick. They basically made him to be like a slave, saying like, you're gonna do this, this, this. You're gonna do it this, this, and this way. Same as like we did, how black people were back in the old days. We were the slaves, so I loved that. And I think the other I was on the Dejori women thing. I just remembered myself. The women were fabulous, and I don't even care. I think that's how I got lost, because I was talking about like how I want Akuto and like the Dejori women just to have their own short film. I would lose my mind if they did that, because like these women, they were empowered. They were empowered. They didn't need a man to empower them. They empowered themselves. And they were loyal until the bitter end. Even with that one girl who Killmonger had a knife to her throat, her last words were Wakanda forever. Wakanda forever, and you can get information. And she died, and her last words were saying like, I am proud of my country, I am proud to serve my country, and I'm going to die proudly serving my country. And that's what I want. That's what I want little black girls to see, is that not the death part. I want them to see black women as positive role models, and loyal and kind and caring and supportive. I loved her, and I would love to see her in. Of course, they're making a part two. Like, come on, guys! Like, they're probably writing it right now as we speak. As they roll around in this mill and all this money they make in, they're just working on part two. So moving on, talking. I want to talk before I get into the actual funny comedy, sort of like comedic, lighthearted things. I want to do one more maybe two more of like the things that made you really think. But I think there's like one or two more scenes I specifically want to talk about. I loved the little sister. I loved her. She was so cute and quirky and nerdy. She was just everything. She's everything that I want. And like, that's everything you would see in a little sister. And I have a little sister. And she had a little bit of her qualities too. And I absolutely love that. And like, they didn't make the little sister into like the annoying little sister and blah, blah, blah. No, girl. She is the backbone. Do you hear me? I'm going to repeat that. The backbone of the Wakandan technology. A woman who is 16. She's 16 years old and is already more sickening than everyone else who's watching the movie. And I love how she's into technology and engineering and biology and all that stuff. Like, oh my gosh, a girl can't be in the science, and oh my gosh, a girl can't be in the coding, and oh my gosh, oh my, like, women can't do this and women can't do that. And the man and Baku, he tried to drag her at this fight scene, saying like, shut up, girl. When I'm speaking, you don't speak, and how dare you all put a woman, have a girl in charge of technology? Boy, move, disappear, go away. Stop it. We are not in the Stone Age anymore. Women are getting into coding. Now, if after this movie, a spike of black girls and girls in general get into coding, she's the reason why. And I'm so excited for her to become a Disney princess. I believe that we have all personally made, and like collectively as a group, she has already been crowned as a Disney princess, and she is sickening, but like we want her to have a ceremony like at Disney, like everybody else. That's what we want. Moving on. And I think one of the most emotional lines throughout this, Michael B. Jordan had the best lines. Like, I'm not even being shady toward anyone. He had the best lines in this movie, without a doubt. His whole character is like, there are all these great black people are being successful in Africa, and they have all these riches and all this technology, and we black people in America are struggling. We are being murdered in the street. We are being wrongfully incarcerated and all this. You need to help us. Help us, please. And that's why I couldn't be mad. I wanted to not like him, but I liked him. I sympathized with him. And one of the best scenes that he had, he is dying at the end of this movie. He's dying. Dagger in his chest. He's dying. And T'Challa takes him up to see the sunset over Wakanda. The same people that abandoned him and left him and killed his father. He still wanted to be a part of that beautiful land. That tugged at my heartstrings. Ouch. And then at the end of the movie, T'Challa says, I can help you. You don't have to die. Just let me help you. You do not have to die here. And T'Challa and Eric says, and have you put me in prison? And one of the best lines, and I've never wanted a tattoo, but if I wanted a tattoo, I would get this on my body, saying, just dump me in the ocean with my ancestors. They knew that death was better than bondage. Oh my God. Oh my, death is better than bondage. Oh my gosh. As an African American woman, that hurts. That is truth. That is purest. Death is better than bondage. Oh my God, that is one of the best lines in this whole film. That's one of the best serious lines in this whole film. I loved his lines. And I want the person that did all the dialogue, the screenwriter, I want him to come to my class and just be my tutor and be my mentor. That's what I want. I want the screenwriter and the director to be my mentor. Because this is what I want to do as a creative writer. I want to create narratives and stories for all different walks of people and all different walks of life. And they did it beautifully. I cried 3 times watching this movie. And my mom said, you better not cry in this movie. Don't cry. Don't make a scene. I said, Mom, I'm not promising you that, so don't ask me to do it. Just don't ask me not to cry. Because as a black nerd, as I brand myself, as a black nerd, it is beautiful watching this. We're not the thug or the coon or the drug dealer or the murderer or the prisoner or the slave. We're not the goofy sidekick. We're not the first person to die. And okay, well, someone did die in the first 10 minutes of the movie. But that leads to a bigger plot. We're not the first people to die in 5 minutes. We're not that ratchet best friend. We are the hero, and I'm here for it. Absolutely, I'm here for this. I loved it. It brought me to tears. Because I was so happy that my little cousin, who's 10 years old, gets to see a movie where someone that looks as dark as him as a hero. And then we have A Wrinkle in Time as well. Oh my, black people are just taking these W's, and you racist white people just need to get over it. You need to get over it. You racist white people, you KKK having members, you KKK members, you neo-Nazi, they will not replace us, build asses. You need to get over it. Black people are taking these wins, and you just need to sit down and be quiet and get on board. Get on board the W train, toot, toot. Now that I've talked about all the deep stuff, let's get into all the cute stuff. And of course I'm going to talk about Adoko. Of course I'm going to talk about her because she could have her own TV show. and she could just stand there, I would say, yes! If I was in that theater by myself, I would have been jumping up and down, screaming, because she was so good. Oh my God. It's not fair. She's not, this isn't fair. This is not fair. Like, don't you need a consent form to, like, don't I need to sign? Doesn't my mom need to sign some papers saying you have a right to steal my edges? Saying, like, you have this legal right to just take a pair of scissors and these razors and these spears and just slice and scalp my edges off. Like, this isn't fair. This is not fair. I had no say in the matter. I needed to sign a consent form. I didn't give anyone permission to snatch my edges like that. It's not right and it's not fair. She was the best. Her right here, this beautiful black queen, right here next to Lupita, another sickening black queen. She could have had her own movie, and I hope they do this, like a cute little short film. I would spend $14 on YouTube Red just to have a movie, just to be able to download this movie about Adoka. She was just so sickening. She was just so beautiful. She just had the best lines. Her and the daughter, and like not the daughter, her and the sister had the best lines in this movie. And Michael B. Jordan had the best lines in the whole film. They really did. One of them was we have the scene where Ross thinks it's okay to touch him. It was like tap him on the chest. No, don't touch my king. No. This is not okay. I did not give you permission to do that. And she says in a Wakandan, if he touches you again, I will impale him on that desk. And the microaggression Ross, the pressed white person, says, does she speak English? And she says in perfect English, looking sickening as ever, when she wants to. When she wants to speak English. Any more questions, Ross? I will impale you on this desk. I love that. I thought that was so amazingly sickening. And also going back to like the serious thing that made you think, like the little microaggressions within this film were eye-opening. And I would have hated to be like a racist. I would have hated to be a racist built bitch and go see this movie. Like if y'all thinking like, oh my gosh, the white person's gonna have the whole show and blah 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 blah. I would have hated to be a racist built bitch and go see this movie. I couldn't be that racist built bitch and go see. I couldn't be like these KKK members and go see this movie. Like, come on, really? And I know they pressed. I know so many white people that are pressed. Like, oh my gosh, this movie is racist, and oh my gosh, like they treated the white dude badly, and oh my gosh, they killed the white dude, and oh my gosh, the Black Panther is racist. No, girl, you've been doing it to black people for years. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Black Panther is racist. Literally every other movie is a bunch of white people and one black dude. Y'all can get over it. Y'all can deal with it. Get over it. Oh well. Stay pressed. Black people are taking these W's and you just got to get over yourself. And another thing people are saying, like, oh my gosh, like black people can't just go to, and it has to be a coon as well. It has to be a black person that says this. Cooning and disgusting. He's gonna say, oh my gosh, like why do black people can't just sit down and go to the movies? Why they gotta be all dressed up? And why they gotta be so ridiculous? And oh my gosh. Because you didn't say anything when all these white people were dressed up like Harry Potter with his lightning built ass 5 head, and all these stormtroopers, and all these Optimus Primes. Did y'all say anything? No, you didn't. So shut the fuck up. Thank you. Thank you very much. Moving on. Adoko, I could talk about her all day. Like, don't get me started on her. My best scene with her, there are 2 scenes that were absolutely amazing with her. First scene, where she's at this fight scene and I don't have a prop. I need to invest in some props. I really need to. And let me reach for the prop. She's going to have this spear. This is a remote, but it's a spear in this sense. And she's going to bop someone in the face. She's going to rip off her wig, which she hated. She hated wearing that wig. She's going to throw it in his face. I loved that. I screamed in the theater. I screamed. I had to cover my mouth for a good majority of this movie, so it wouldn't disturb the other 10 people in this theater. And my other scene is when her and her husband in this film, who was all for like T'Challa not being king, even though 3 minutes before they were best friends. He's gonna betray. He's gonna get off this rhino. This rhino. Well, not even that part. He's gonna step in front of T'Challa, like stop, like she's some kind of beautiful crossing guard. Like she's a beautiful stop sign. She had this red dress on. She could have been a stop sign. Not this red dress, but this red armor on. She could have been a stop sign. And he got off this rhino and said, I'm about to say horse, Jesus. He got off this rhino and he's saying that like she's telling him to stand down, put your weapon down. I don't want to fight you, but I will. And he gets off this rhino and saying like after the rhino just like licks her face because she knew the rhino wasn't gonna hurt her because rhinos love her. And he's gonna say like, "Are you really going to kill me? Like you're not going to kill your love, and you're not going to kill your husband, will you?" Girl, she had her spear. We're using the remote again. She's gonna say, "For the sake of my country, I will not. If I will do it without a thought." And I loved that. That was sickening as ever. Sickening as ever. I love her. I could spend like another 36 minutes on her, but I'm not going to do that. Moving on to the sister. Now, this sister is so cute. I think I want her to have her own movie as well. She could have her own movie, and I wouldn't even be pressed. Her own high budget film where she's just inventing stuff all day long, and she's just using T'Challa to be a test dummy. And I would get my life, and I would pay $10 to see that crap. Not that crap, to see that shit. Anyway, this is when we're at the chase scene after the casino, and like she just like, yes, I get to do something, and she's just so cute and quirky, and I love her. And like the little side comment she gave, like when Agent Ross was like waking up from like being dead, and from being dead, and oh my gosh, I know I'm saying a lot, guys. I'm sorry. I just have so many thoughts, and I didn't write them down. And he scares her saying like, "Oh, okay, where am I?" And she said, "Don't scare me, colonizer." I absolutely love that. That's like the second best line in the film. I love how they just called him a colonizer. I think that's why people thought this movie is racist because this movie was focused. But I thought her whole character was cute. The relationship that she and T'Challa have is absolutely adorable. And I love how they have this cute little banter scene. And how like she really asks, is it really the best idea to bring your ex-wife on to bring your ex-girl to bring your ex on a mission? I love how she just like low-key drags everyone. And this other line that I love from her saying like another broken white boy to fix. Yay! I just can't. I love her. Like I love her. I want her on like I want to have her own t-shirts. I want her to have her own merchandise. Like I want her to have her own TV show, and it would be the Adventures of Shruti or whatever her or however you pronounce her name. I would love to watch that TV show. I would watch it every week religiously. I would love her to have her own TV show. And then we have her mom, the beautiful queen of acting, Angela. Goddamn Bassett! She was so beautiful. Like everyone in this whole movie just looks stunning. Like, is that why racist white people are mad? Or is that why they mad? Because everyone in this movie looked good. Like, what is it? What? Why are y'all mad about this film? She looked so good. She looked like she was 22 years old in the beginning of the movie. She looked like she was ready to hit the club and steal your man, steal your father. She was just ready to come for your jugulars. I loved her. She's so beautiful. And like she just like I don't know why, but like in this movie she looked so young. But like in 911, which is I might do reviews on that show. I don't know yet. But she looks a little she like, oh my god, is that a wrinkle? Like I see pictures like, oh my god, is it a wrinkle? Do we finally see wrinkles? But that's so cracking. Y'all gotta get over it. I'm being so shady in this video, but I don't even care. I don't even care. I loved her. I loved how caring she was. I love how with her, she didn't have that many scenes, but like the scenes she did have, they were so compelling and so amazing. Like when T'Challa was dying and he was being killed, she just felt so broken. And you can see that anguish on her face. And when they went to the Iceland, I call it the Iceland, where Umbaku lives, she got down on her knees and begged Umbaku to help me save the land of my people. Help me save the land that my husband died over, that my son died over. Help me. And I just think that like, and throughout the entire movie, she is so put together and so strong. And another one of her favorite lines that I love is like, and when Natala was fighting when Baku the first time, she just says, "Show them who you are." I just loved that. I would also get that tattooed on my body with like a little like panther claw, like a panther paw print on my back or on my shoulder. Totally would get that. Totally would do. But I'm definitely afraid of needles, so never getting a tattoo in my life. Um, oh my gosh, Nikita and T'Challa's relationship. Now I'm kind of pressed because I wanted it to be Storm because their relationship is so complicated. I want someone to just like sit down and explain it to me. But like I know there's like the whole issue is like Storm's with Fox and like she's a Marvel character but she's with Fox and I don't know how that I don't know like if that has changed since like Disney and Fox like merged together. But I would love to see T'Challa and Storm interact. But he already got Nikita, so he ain't pressed about no Storm. He's not pressed about it. And I love how I kind of like this is the one thing that's sort of like okay about the movie because the whole movie just gets like straight up 20s, like not even 10s but 20s. But with their relationship, I love how the entire movie was not about their relation, like all like literally every other white people movie on the planet. Oh shade, but no shade, but shade is given everywhere and throughout this entire review. Um, I love how it wasn't about the relationship. It was about how are we going to get our country together. I love how the whole thing was not centered around them being together or him trying to hook up with her. But I loved at the beginning when Danny, the actor that plays Okuto, she says, "Don't freeze." And then when you see her, don't freeze. And I love how he says, "I never freeze." 3 seconds later, hi. I loved that so much. I thought that was adorable. And how like she said to the sister, he froze like an antelope in headlights. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Loved, 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 loved. And I was so shook about the fact that Sterling Brown was in this movie and no one told me. Like really? He was amazing. He was in this movie for like 10 minutes. Like overall he had like 10, 15 minutes of film. But he was great. He was great. So give Sterling a 10 out of 10 in the acting department. I want Michael B to be in more movies. Tad, keep being you, keep being deliciously handsome. Lupita girl, you better keep slaying everyone with your hair. And speaking of hair, I love this scene where it's Okoto, Nikita, and T'Challa, and they're walking into like this Korean club, like the Korean scene where they're in Korea. And like I love how she hates this wig on her head. And I thought for a second like she looked like Viola Davis. And if like maybe like later on, if I can find a picture, I'll post on my Twitter like how she sort of like in that little scene, her and Viola Davis could be like sisters. And I would get my life. I thought for a second, oh my gosh, what is Viola in this movie? I was about to freak out. I was like, oh my god, Viola's in this movie. Nobody told me she was in this movie. But like she's with like DC, so like it wouldn't have worked. But she looked like Viola Davis, and I was shook about it. And I maybe like her even more because she looks like Viola Davis with like this with a wig on. And like I loved how she hated the wig, and I love how Lupita said just whip your whip it back and forth. I love a lot of like modernization was in this as well, like how like Shruteya or however you say her name, like she told him Waterloos. I loved that one. I love the whip your hair one. What was another? I think those are the only two that I can remember. But I definitely know a lot of modernization. I and like the hoverboard joke, like that was really funny. I loved it, and I also loved how when Ross finally got the hang of like flying the ship, he asked, okay, now what do I do? And the sister said, shoot him, genius. I'm looking like, do women gotta do black women gotta tell you to do everything? Like we build the stuff, we put it, we make it so it's in clear English for you, and you still struggle. Oh my gosh, I couldn't deal with him. Like he was decent, and I like him on Sherlock. So I tolerate him. Never watched Hobbit before, so I can't really say I liked him in Hobbit. But he was tolerable. Hey, what was his name? Jesus, crazy white guy that was a lunatic. What was his name? Oh Jesus, not Krang. It's not the Krang. This isn't Ninja Turtles, but jeez, oh my gosh, I can't think of his name. But he was the other white dude. That's basically what he's going to be called because he's in the movie for like 30 minutes. And I loved how I loved how like crazy he was. Like I don't know why. I didn't love how he was crazy, but like I liked how like he reached a point of insanity. And the interrogation scene, I liked it because like he was the only white person that was woke about what's happening in Wakanda. But like I don't know. I thought his character was like really like weird and annoying, and like I didn't really care about him all that much. I really could care less about him, and I do. That's why I don't know. That's why I don't remember his name, and that's why he's being referred to as the other white dude. And I think that's all. I didn't really have a script because with the last two videos I did, I had like a little bit of like a script of what I want to talk about. But in this case, I don't have a script. I really don't. Overall, I love this movie. The soundtrack, the sound. Can we talk about how lit the soundtrack was? Like when I first heard this, I went to school in a downtown sort of area, so like I'm a commuter, and I first heard about it. It's like, oh my gosh, okay, Kendrick did this. I'm here for it, and I love All Stars. Absolutely loved it. I love that song, and I love the visuals in that video. It was so like woke, and I absolutely loved it. So I'm gonna see if I can pull up certain songs on my phone. I can't play them because like copyright, and I don't want to deal with that. So I'm just not gonna play them. But I'm like bopping around. Sorry, but sorry, but the soundtrack. I absolutely loved it. Like I don't even listen to rap like that, but I wanted to buy Kendrick's whole discography just to support this man because he did a good job, and I was really proud of him. Like the Black Panther, the first one that's called can you see that? I'm just gonna read them to you since y'all can't see it. Can I make the screen a little darker so y'all can see? Can y'all see? A little bit. I can kind of see it in the reflection. But I love the Black Panther song, like, I love that at the end he said, I am T'Challa. Only reason why I love that song, because it's literally the first time throughout the whole like trailer of this film that we hear the name T'Challa. So I love it. All Stars, the music video was aesthetically pleasing, and we're gonna talk about the aesthetics in a second. But X is a bop. Like, hold on, I just want to play a little second of it. Yeah, X is amazing. Like, X for excellent. I'm like bobbing around like, okay, okay. That was a lit song. I love that song. That's with like Schoolboy Q and 2 Chainz and Saudi. That was really great. SZA was great. I'm not the biggest SZA fan, but like she was great in this song. She was stunning in the music video. I loved her in this music video. Do I like Oops all that much? Hold on. I think I do. Oh, Oops, like the chase scene. So yes, I kind of took a guess, like saying like Oops is going to be like the car chase scene. There had to be some kind of car chase, and I figured that'd be a good song for it. So loved Oops. King's Dead, that's really good. I love that song. Redemption is also good, and Pray for Me with The Weeknd, that was amazingly done as well. So I give like maybe like an 8.5 on like the soundtrack, because like I didn't like I liked the majority of the songs. There's just some songs I liked more than others. I'm just gonna put it like that. And aesthetically, just like film wise, like purely based on like images and film and like how like they did editing and whatnot. It was stunning. Like, I loved like how we came into Wakanda. Like when we're on the ship and we just like zoom into Wakanda and we see like that overview of Wakanda, stunningly beautiful. When T'Challa drinks that like Panther rose, or the rose panther, or whatever the flower is, and he's like put in this sort of like dream state, and it's almost like the Avatar state. That's how I compared it to. It's similar to like how Aang went to the Avatar state, and like he sort of like detached. Not the Avatar state, but like the spirit world. The spirit world. That's exactly what this reminds me of. Because physically his body is somewhere else. It's like in the real world, but like his spirit and like his consciousness, it's in this sort of panther spirit world. And I just thought like the beautiful colors. Oh my god, the colors were so beautiful and bright and stunning. I loved them, and I loved how we have basically like the tree of life, where like the 5 panthers are sitting in the tree just waiting for T'Challa to like come up to the tree. I got all types of Lion King teas, because I was thinking like, are we gonna get Rafiki in this tree? I loved that scene so much. It was just aesthetically so beautiful, and like I love the color. The purple is my favorite color, and I just love all the bright colors that were used. Absolutely love the oranges, the greens. Like, we're at this like fight scene, like the very first fight scene. Now, in like this cage in like the river thing, and they're going to get T'Challa coronated for the first time. For T'Challa's coronation the first time, and we just see all these like scores of black people, and they're just like moving around and like doing their like traditional dancing and whatnot, and doing their traditional sounds, and like they're so like blues and greens and oranges and yellows and red, and it was so beautiful. I loved the use of colors in this film, because it shows that black people are very colorful people, and they have so much beauty to offer to this world. I loved it. Going back to the spirit world, I loved the 3 spirit world scenes. I absolutely loved them. Because the first one is T'Challa going up to like this tree of life, and he's meeting his father, and it's just so beautifully done. Oh my gosh, it was so beautiful, and like I wanted to just stay there forever and just admire all the greenery and all the trees. And then I loved how with the second time we came to that sort of spirit world with Eric Killmonger. We weren't in the outside of the spirit world.
of this. I'm going to call it the spirit world so many times. That's probably not even the right name for it. I'm calling it the spirit world. We're in his apartment where he found his dad dead. And I love how, like, from the windows, you can see the beautiful purpleness. And that sort of shows, like, how closed off he actually is from Wakanda. So I loved how, like, that symbolism was there with being in the apartment. And I loved that scene with Sterling and Michael because that's so emotional. And I love how the father asked, "No tears for me." And I love how the young how the young Eric says, "No, people die every day." That made me so sad. Like, his character just made me just whip out heartstrings. Then the third time we went to the spirit world, I loved how it was different because, like, we weren't surrounded by purple, but there was just, like, the sky was bright as fuck. And all the Wakandan ancestors were waiting, or were just like, "T'Challa, you're able to come home now. Like, you're able to be with us, and we can be reunited, and we can be a family." But I love how T'Challa says, "As much as I want to, I have to clean up the mess you made." And I love how in this scene he still kept the very intimate baba. I love how intimate that word is, and I love how it sounds so intimate. And I've used it in a lot of my writings as well for when I'm doing, like, characters who are of African descent. I love the use of how intimate the word baba is because it means, like, daddy. And I love how intimate, even at his grown age, he still calls his own father daddy. And I absolutely love how sweet that is. And I love how I have to clean up the mess you made. And, like, he wasn't angry. He's like, "I have to fix the shit you caused." He was just so frustrated and so lost and confused. And I love how, since, like, we're on the topic of his father, I love how Lupita said, like, "You can be the king you want to be. You don't have to be your father or the ancestors. You can be whatever king you want to be." And I love that symbol that also brings forth into, like, the present, how, like, you can be whatever, you can be whoever you want. As long as you are happy with who you are, you can be anyone you want. You can be anything. And I love how so much hope and aspiration was put into this film. This film was absolutely incredible. And I feel like if I, like, I don't want to cry on camera. I don't. But this film was just so beautiful, and I can't wait to go see it again. I cannot wait to go see it again. I want to go see this in 3D, but I'm scared, like, Okoto's gonna, like, put a spear in my face. Oh my god. But overall, give this movie a 20 out of 10. I'm so pleased with how this movie was. Thank you, Ryan, for being the amazing director that you are. Thank you to the cast for being absolutely incredible and being for absolutely the best they can, for doing their best, and not even just doing their best, for exceeding everyone's expectations. Because I was thinking, like, this is gonna be corny as hell. They're gonna overdo it with the African stuff. It was perfect. I cannot wait for Black Panther Part 2. I cannot wait for it. I cannot wait for it. I cannot wait for the little sister to take the crown and become Black Panther. I can't wait for a female Black Panther to come about. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So that's going to be the end of the video. Definitely buy your ticket. Go take your mom, your sister, your dad, brother, uncle, your anyone. Take everyone with you to go see this film. And if you have seen it, go see it again. You might catch things that I might have said in the video or things I haven't said in the video. And that's going to lead me to the 4 things you need to do before you click off this video. Number 1, make sure you like this video. Smash that like button, or high five the like button. I'm trying to be more YouTuber-y, so cut me a break. Number 2, leave a comment below saying what you liked, what you didn't like about the video, what other videos I should do, what other TV shows and movies I should do reviews about, and I might do music video as well, because I want to do a video about the whole Normani and Khalid video, because that was beautiful. So go check that video out as well. It's called Little Love Lies. Also go check out the SZA and Kendrick video, All Stars. That's beautiful as well and full of Black history. And yes, yay Black History Month. And number 3, don't forget to push the subscribe button and make sure the notification bell is pressed so you can see every time I leave a video or I post something. And number 4, have a creative day, afternoon, or creative night. Bye, guys.